Yeah, I mean, but to be fair, when you're in Anfield and they sing that,
Yeah, it's definite.
there is a moment you need the toilet. I promise you, there is because, like, what is it, 53,000, 52,000
Yeah.
seater? You know, 52,000 people in a stadium, and 48,000 of them are all singing one song. It's quite
See, and
intimidating.
that's another thing that like it gives me chills about West Ham and why I love this club so much. Like we say that about Liverpool, and I respect Never Walk Alone, and when everyone
Yeah,
sings in unison. But like at Upton Park, that was a full 90 minutes. You were a lightning bug trying to get out of the jar
mm,
at Upton Park.
mm.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah, yeah.
I've
And
got
go on,
go
go on.
ahead. I've got I have a bunch of issues still with what's happened and the move and stuff, but like for me, it's always been foundationally like it
Hmm.
still makes me sick to this day that we don't have food stands and small businesses outside the stadium because again, that was like one thing I loved about Upton Park. So I
Yeah.
in America, American football and hockey, like I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers and Pittsburgh Penguin fan, and Pittsburgh
Okay.
is like it's not the same as London at all. It's very workman industrial, but like it's a bunch of small businesses. Even though we have a 80,000 person stadium, there's a bunch of small businesses and stands outside, and
80,000.
a lot. I I could be wrong, but it's a lot. It's about the same as London Stadium,
Wow.
maybe a little less, but
Well, London Stadium is at the moment it's 60,000 capacity.
I think
They're increasing it to 62 and a half, I believe.
I want to say it's 60 something. Let me see. 68,400.
Oh, okay, okay. So, yeah,
And
bit
and
bigger than
and
the London Stadium,
yeah,
clearly.
and
Uh,
basically like we again industrial working class
mm,
city where there's a bunch of small businesses, small food carts on game day,
yeah,
whatever. And the fact that they just basically ripped that away and that it's no more,
yeah.
it hurts because like
There
I've always
are there are certain franchises outside the stadium, immediately outside the stadium. I mean, when you go in through the turnstiles. It's all very narrow, and well, I say very narrow. It's probably about each of the turnstile areas, and I believe there's 10 or 12 around the stadium. Um, but each of them are probably about, I would say, 20 meters across. With say 4 or 5 actual turnstiles for you to go through. And each of those, every game day, it's just a massive queue, and
yeah.
people do have problems with their e-tickets and stuff like that. So it's quite slow at
Yeah.
times.
But like with me
But
with
then at the end of the game,
mhm.
once once the final whistle blows, they open up all the glass panels either side of the turnstiles. So it just becomes like a big open
Yeah,
door. We're talking probably 30 or 40 meters wide. Well,
yeah,
no, probably 15 meters each one, and then you'll have like a block of toilets and then another one. So, and then you just walk straight out. And as you walk out of the stadium, you'll find, like a burger van and
yeah.
what, yeah, but they're licensed by the club or the people that own
Just
the
the
stadium.
atmosphere before the match is just it's clearly
Yeah,
not the
but
same
but
as up
once you
front.
get past those, there's
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah,
There is absolutely nothing. I mean, you still get the guys as you approach the stadium. You still get the guys selling the scarves and
yeah,
the program. I mean, on my first trip at the Crystal Palace game, because it was all a new experience, reliving old experiences, if you know what I mean.
yeah,
I went. This guy was selling retro programs. So they were basically programs from years gone by, but reprinted. Okay. So, and I think he was selling them for about a fiver.
I
£5.
actually have a bunch of old ones.
Excellent. Well, all my old ones actually I lost. Broke my heart, that did. I probably had somewhere in the region of about 400, and they all just disappeared, all of them. But that was, another story. But this retro program, so I asked him, what program you got, mate? Because I didn't know it was a retro one at the time. He said, I only do retros. I don't do like today's programs or anything. I said, oh, that sounds interesting. What have you got? And I was expecting him to say, oh, this fixture, 10 years ago or something like that, And he went, well, I've got this, this, and this. And he listed about 4 or 5 different programs he had. And I can't even remember the one I got, but the one I got was a game that I'd been to. Actually, I was at that game and I looked at the program and everything in it was familiar to me. So now I want to find this guy again next time I go to the stadium, and I'm probably going to have £100 in my pocket to spend with him, because I'm going to look through what he's got, or I'm going to have a look through the list of the ones that he's got, and I'm just going to say to him, I need that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one.
There's a gentleman.
All the games that I've been to, that's my aim, is to do that.
There's a gentleman in my supporters group for DC Irons is what we're called.
Yeah.
His name's Mike Snow. Shout out to Mike. He brought in I think it was him. It could have been someone else, but I'm gonna give him that shout out anyway and say it was him that did it. He brought in, had to have been like 100, 150 old programs, and I'm never usually this person, but because I love West Ham so much, I took like 20, maybe 30, and like my mission was I wanted to get a program for like every single like old Premier League club. Like I wanted the Coventry City, I wanted the Middlesbrough, I wanted the Wolverhampton, I wanted the Ipswich.
Yeah.
And I have a bunch over there. I'm gonna grab them before we end the show. And
okay.
Yeah.
I
have a bunch of them, but like I have a buddy, and there's been people in DC Irons too, but this is a personal friend who I met probably 2.5, maybe 3 years ago, who did like an exchange program in London. And like I said, he's a personal friend. So like I live through his experiences. He's been to the Bowling Ground. He's been to London Stadium. He goes back to England every so now and then. He'll do like away days. His recent one he did was Burnley. And yeah, with me in the whole stadium and Upton Park thing, like the move kind of, I don't want to say it killed my motivation to attend a match, but like obviously because I've never experienced it, can it really like can it really kill my expectation? I think so, but at the end of the day, like I'm kind of like you, or what I said, like usually people make the experience for me, even if we could turn up to the shittest pub in the world, but if I have my best friends with me and my best mates, like it's gonna be
the best night you've had in a long time.
And that's how
I'll guarantee you something then, Lucas. I'll promise you something, not guarantee. I'll promise you something. If you make it to the UK to come to a West Ham game, obviously we have to meet up and have a drink or whatever. But listen, I promise you, right, that Happy Amaret and I will come to meet you for a game. We will spend the day together, and by the end of that day, you will have experienced a typical and traditional West Ham day out, regardless of what stadium it is.
Yeah, because
you will not look back at it and think, I wish that had been Upton Park. You won't. I haven't. I've been there 5 times. I've been to Upton Park probably 50 times, probably. Maybe 40, actually. Maybe 40 times I've been to Upton Park. The experience was no different for me
Yeah.
because, as I said, there was a 30-year or so gap between the two experiences. You haven't experienced Upton Park,
Yeah.
but you will one day experience the London Stadium, or as I like to call it, the Ollie Stad, the Olympic Stadium, the Ollie Stad, yeah. But you will experience that one day, Lucas. I'm sure of it. But yeah, when you do, definitely link up with us because it's going to be an experience you will love. And if you like a jar, you will have a few
I love a jar.
on the day. Oh, good. Oh, that see, and not only will it just be me and Happy Amaret, there'll be a bunch of us that will link up with you, because you know there's quite a big following over here to your guys, your channels and stuff. All you guys in America, because like myself, we're intrigued as to how, when, why, and what brings you back.
Yeah.
We're intrigued, and the content you put out is as good and as top quality as anything that's put out that's UK based. I mean, obviously, with the internet and everything else, you have the access to the same
Yeah.
information we do. But it's not just the information that's put out by you guys. It's the passion or the disappointment or the complete fury that you might put into anything that you're doing. And it, it's unique, but it's also familiar,
Yeah.
because that's how we all feel. You guys feel the same sensations and the same experiences that we feel. Those of us that aren't fortunate enough to get to the stadium every week or every 2 weeks or whatever. Now, I'm not. I've been 5 times. We've probably had, 12 or 13 home games this season. I've been to 5 of them, less than half. So, I don't get to any of the away games. There are plenty of guys that I do talk to that do. They experience this atmosphere week in, week out, week in, week out. And for them, it's just as important to hear what you guys think as to what we think, in the UK, because, it's a long time ago, it would have been, who cares what the Yanks feel?
Yeah.
And I'm just I'm generalizing, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
put it in a way that's understandable to everybody. Who cares what the Yanks feel? We don't care. They don't know fuck all about football. What do they know about football? They think football's played with a rugby ball, for God's sake. That was the attitude 10, maybe 8 years ago. Nowadays, we take the American view a little bit more seriously, because I've never heard you once say, when the guys go out on the field. You always say, when the guys walk out on the pitch. You use all the correct phrases, all the that are expected of football.
The soccer slips every now and again. I try to get that out of my vocabulary.
And that's the first time I've actually heard it from you. I've watched quite a few of your streams as well, Lucas. I've never heard you say soccer. That's the first time I've heard it. So congratulations, mate. Well done. Lawrence is very similar. He's very conscious of the word soccer, and I think he has this alarm bell that goes off in his head that if the word soccer comes into his head, he kind of goes, football. But he's conscious of it, and he tries to be politically correct, if you want to use that phrase. And Lee also, I don't think I've ever heard him use the word soccer, and I was really shocked the other night, yesterday was it, when I discovered that he was, and yourself as well. Was it you that said that you played as well?
Oh, no, not me.
No,
just
it
Lee.
was Wally World. It was Wally World. Yeah, Wally. Sorry, they play rugby. I mean, Goodness me, I didn't even know the Americans knew what rugby was.
Yeah.
But it's really intriguing, and I'm going to be chatting with Lee actually on Monday. I'm going to be doing a similar recording with him on Monday, so that'll be great. I'm really looking forward to that.
I love
My
Lee.
my very own Grizzly Adams.
Yes, Uncle Lee. That's what I call him.
Uncle Lee, yeah, he's great. Do you know, he's actually quite a calming sort of fella. He does get excitable at times, I know, but he kind of. This is what Peach. This is what he says about me. He says, like, why is it when I'm on a stream with you, I kind of don't go manic and I don't go left field. He said,
I feel the same way with Lee, but like obviously, like I like to say West Ham brings out my alter ego, and because they really do get me riled up quite a bit. But like I like to feel,
they're good at that.
I like to feel I'm in the same boat as Lee, where like I would say 90% of the time with me, I'm like super calm. I just experience what's in front of me and I take everything at face value. I don't really look forward. I don't look back. Like I just live in the present, live in the moment. But
live for the moment.
My God, West Ham sometimes really just put a tick up the ass,
Another phrase from a true West Ham fan. That's what I love about this. But okay, so let's move on a little bit then. So, as a West Ham fan, your favourite West Ham moment?
Easy. And I might cry talking about this, but I will never forget this for the rest of my life. And I just finished one of my proudest projects associating to this memory. So
okay.
my favorite all-time moments so far, without a doubt, making Europa League is second, and what we're doing right now is pretty much second. If we win Europa League, it will be first. But actually, it might not be first, because this moment legit brings tears to my eyes. And so I was in college at the time, like I told you, when I started really watching West Ham, and I worked at our school store, our bookstore. And I did not like the job. I hated it. Like I'm one of those people. I don't like bounce around jobs, but like I hate working for the man. I hate working for the man. And so it was Tuesday, May 6th. It was the last game at Upton Park. Or I think it was May 6th. I'm not even gonna act like I remember the day. I know it was a Tuesday, 1,000%. It was a Tuesday. Last match up Upton Park against Man United. And I'll never forget. It was our busy season. Like, we're shipping out books, we're getting people books. People are bringing their books back. It's the end of the semester, whatever. And I knew what the day was. Like, I woke up, I was like, oh boy, this is it. Like,
this is it. This is
gonna be a long it's gonna be a long day, and this moment's gonna take forever to get to and forever to end. And just that match, everything about it, I miraculously somehow found a video before it got taken off on Twitter, and I have it saved on my phone of highlights of the match. But that final match at Upton Park really is my
that favorite. Full match is available on YouTube.
And
and all the ceremony.
I got a little off track, but basically I was at work while the match was happening, because it was a 2:45 kickoff here. So 7:45, 8 p.m. your way. And I dropped everything I was doing at work. Like, I didn't give a shit who was there, who was watching me, because there was a computer in the back, and I pulled it up on NBC Sports, and I was watching. I was freaking out the whole time, nervous, cried. And just my favorite moment was just seeing Winston Reed put that header into the back of the net. 2-1 up, or 2-1 down, 3-2 up. The Peter Drury commentary makes me cry every time. Seriously, like it's an immediate tear, and I have the highlights saved on my video. And
Yeah.
Fortunately enough, on the
Didn't he
west,
say something like you couldn't write this or something like that?
yeah, you
It was
can't.
something along that kind of train of thought, wasn't it?
The one
Yeah.
that just always sticks with me is the 2-1 down, 3-2 up. It's meant to be. It's surely meant to be in claret and blue. And
That's it.
oh, it nearly brings tears to my eyes. And the
Fantastic.
one project I just finished was the West Ham store. Like, you know how they always have like sales and like they're about to throw shit away if you don't buy it.
Yeah.
And I'm a rather larger guy, so I get my kits in 3. I'm a 2X naturally, so but with the UK size, and I have to get a 3X because it's so weird.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they had a last match edition, or last match of the Bowling Ground edition home kit, and I bought that, and then I found the correct badges from the year, the correct number templates and the letter templates, and I just had to make a Winston Reed kit with that.
Nice.
And
Nice.
that is my favorite moment. And personally,
Mm.
even if we won the FA Cup, I mean, that'd be great, but just the situation, the emotions, the atmosphere, that's my favorite moment of all time because it really
Yeah.
does make me cry
So
almost every time I think about it.
so if I was to say to you, if you could wear any player's shirt from any moment in West Ham's history since you've been supporting, that would be the shirt you would want to wear, is it?
Moment wise, yes, because like I said, there will be some
We'll
mornings
get
I
on to
wake up.
favourite players later.
There's some
In
mornings
a
where I
minute.
wake up and before I go to sleep, I just go on my phone because I have a bunch of like West Ham videos, say like West Ham clips. I save a
Yeah.
bunch of his stuff on my phone, just
He's
like
great.
highlights and all that. And every time I pull that one up, when I just say, Pyatt, Reed, it's in. I just tear up. It really does make me whimper like a baby sometimes. But if
Love
I
that.
had to pick a player and moment that I wish I was that person to experience something, it has to be Winston Reid on that day.
Yeah. Yeah. I can understand that. For me, it would have to be Manuel Lanzini getting the equaliser against Tottenham. Oh, for goodness sakes, if I could hit a ball like that and get that kind of reaction from everybody in the stadium, for God's sake, mate, I would be set. I would live on that moment for the rest of my life.
Exactly. And that's what it's all
But
about.
yeah, and I would imagine for you that's the Winston Reid moment, but I mean, and I've experienced some
And I
amazing
mean, Peter
moments.
Drury, what a man. What a man.
Yeah.
Love
I
him.
mean, I've experienced some amazing moments with West Ham, but the thing is, I don't get the commentary because I'm sat in the stadium
Yeah.
or stood in the stadium. The only commentary you get is, Fred behind you telling his missus, yeah, they're having a penalty now. Yeah, that's the only commentary you're going to get.
Fred
So,
telling Susie what's going on.
yeah, that's the one. But so okay, so that was your favourite moment. That's your moment. That's your tearful moment, and
Yes.
I fully understand that, mate. I do as well. What about your worst moment? The moment you would rather forget?
Worst moment. In general, just being cheated. Because I mean, we've been cheated and farced so many times. But worst moment. I can't say relegation, obviously, because I didn't experience it. But that would be up there in general. But from my time supporting, this is a random one. I'm not going to say this is it, but there was one. It was 2017 or even 2016 when we were playing really well with Pyatt, and it was away at Stamford Bridge, and Andy Carroll got fouled in the box when I think we were drawn. We were tied at the time, and we were sitting third, and we all know we get that penalty, we're going to bag it in. We were going to be in second place of the Premier League, so close to first, and then after that, obviously we slid
I think
to
we would have
sixth.
only have been 2 points behind first, wouldn't we? At
Yeah,
that point?
but the biggest gut wrenching moment for me, that Mark Noble penalty miss when Moyes brought him on still hurts a
Yes,
lot. And then
and I fully understand that.
the Jesse Lingard winner that he got against us really fucking hurts too. But
Yes,
I would say
yes,
currently because luckily in my time supporting, really the only actually, worst moment was 2 seasons ago when we were fighting relegation when Moyes first came in. That was awful to me,
hmm
and just every match
yeah,
legit was a cup final. You're fighting for your life,
yeah.
and
So just remind me, what year roughly was it you started supporting West Ham?
2000, 2015.
15, yeah. So you would have missed the FA Cup um,
Yeah,
loss against Liverpool in
Liverpool. Yeah,
2006. That's,
fucking
that
Gerrard.
one was tough. That was a stab in the heart for me.
Yeah.
I was in a pub full of Liverpool supporters, and then when the Konchesky goal went in,
I kind of feel that because
I went up and kissed all the Liverpool supporters' wives. Kissed them all on the cheek, every one of them. There was about 7 or 8 of them in the pub
I
that
can
night,
feel that
and
moment
they're
because
all yeah,
I can feel that moment because I was in a bar full of England fans when Croatia was playing. I was the only Croatian fan in there. I was wearing my flag around me, yada yada yada, and
yeah,
you know what happened next.
yeah, yeah.
I won't
And
go into it.
so were you born in the US though, or were you
Yeah,
born in?
my dad's side of the family is Croatian, not like first or second generation. I want to say third or fourth. So
Okay, okay.
not too far away, but
hmm
Croatian. My mom's side of the family's Hungarian. So
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Balkan roots.
Yeah, mate. Excellent. Love that. So yeah, we've had your best moment, or a number of good moments, but your best moment being the Winston Reid goal. We've had kind of your worst moment, which was, you know, the fight in
Yeah.
relegation when we were
Because we really were
struggling.
so shit. We were
And
playing so
I
shit.
kind of portioned some of the blame, or a lot of the blame of that, on the board
Yeah.
because of their decision to uh,
But
appoint,
but again, like
the
that
wrong
feeling,
manager.
yeah, but that feeling like there I mean, that's as close to helpless as you can feel. Like
Yeah,
we were a helpless, stranded dog just looking for water, looking for food, looking for someone to love us.
yeah, yeah. Fortunately, we managed to survive it. But okay. So best and worst moments are covered. Uh, since you've been watching West Ham, who's your favourite player?
Man.
That's always a tough one.
It is because like I wanna put everything into perspective. I want to consider the history of the club and everything I know, what I've watched, highlights, what I've seen live. Like I said, Mario Zarate was my first favorite player. Mark Noble obviously is always going to be up there. Declan Rice is now up there. But I got to say Bobby Moore. I think Bobby Moore would be my favorite player
Hmm.
just because he's
Clearly, then you've done a bit of research into the history of the club and the players within and the achievements that we've had and stuff like that.
because
So
because at
I
the end of
do appreciate the fact that you have put Bobby Moore there.
because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, obviously no player is bigger than the club. So like
No,
obviously when Declan Rice leaves, I'm gonna cry for sure. And when Mark Noble retires, I'm gonna cry. But
yeah, yeah,
we're gonna push on. I'm never gonna stop supporting West Ham. But like Bobby Moore, he's practically the foundation of everything we love about West Ham.
And
And
you know,
I
I'm
get
I'm
I
glad
have to
you.
give him all credit in the world to that, because without that type of foundation he started,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be a West Ham fan.
I'm glad you mentioned that because for a guy that, I mean, what are you, early 30s?
I just turned 27, February 6th.
Oh, my apologies, my apologies.
There you go.
So you're younger than I thought, anyway, and not much older than my daughter. But so you're 27. You would never have even been alive when Bobby Moore was alive. Even he died before you'd even, was even an itch in your dad's pants. Um, but for the fact that you've done enough research and you've kind of followed West Ham with a passion of, you know, looking at the current game. But hey, how did this current game become the current game? I want to have a look back. It's the intrigue of the club and the game, I suppose, that's drawn you to that conclusion that Bobby Moore being, you know, your favourite player in history.
And I mean, we won the World Cup, so
We did. But like you said that without Bobby Moore, the foundation of what we are now
would
wouldn't be
never
the same.
exist.
I'm using my own words to sort
Yeah.
of paraphrase what you'd said. But as I said, I'm glad that you brought that up because Bobby Moore actually epitomises what Mark Noble's tenure as this club captain is all about. Now, I'm probably not wrong, but if anybody that watches this wants to correct me, please put it in the comments. But I would put a pound to a penny that that Mark Noble has studied, Bobby Moore and studied how to behave, how to conduct yourself. He's probably his biggest role model in his lifetime,
And
other than his
it
father.
says a lot too when Declan Rice even mentions him. Like that again, like you just don't see that in today's game. Like when you have
Mhm.
Mark Noble and then even Declan Rice,
And
who's
Bobby
22,
Moore was
23.
one funny bugger.
Yeah.
Bobby Moore loved a practical joke, and it, you know,
Again, it's a full circle thing, and a fortune's always hiding thing. Like literally, fortune is always hiding. Like who would have ever thought we'd have another captain like Mark Noble who takes away from Bobby Moore, and then Declan Rice now vice captain, club on the pit or captain on the pitch, obviously referencing Bobby Moore. And when this is the thing too, because I already knew Bobby Moore. It was basically Bobby Moore and Mark Noble as my favorite players, and then Declan Rice very, very, very close. But like when Declan Rice is mentioning Bobby Moore in his five-a-side, that's when you know. Like he's 4.5 years younger than me, and when he's mentioning Bobby Moore in his five-a-side, his dream five-a-side or whatever, that just speaks volumes. And like I said, in my opinion, without Bobby Moore, I just don't think we have an identity. I mean,
mm,
obviously we're a working class club. We have our
yeah.
roots, but without Bobby Moore, we
Mhm.
just don't have that
Bobby
punch.
Moore sprinkled a touch of class on the East End. That's what he did.
Yeah.
With the kind of play that he had, that he produced, and also with the way he conducted himself. I feel that Bobby Moore was very harshly treated by the footballing world, as it were. I think he was harshly treated. He should definitely have been a contender for, you know, national team manager.
I mean, and when
Definitely.
Pele says you're the best player he's ever played against, I mean, what more do you need?
Yeah, yeah, and you've got all of these clubs that go, yeah, but he's a great midfielder, but he's no Bobby Moore, and things of that nature. I mean, we're talking about managers of like Tommy Docherty and people like Brian Clough and managers like that. They all absolutely loved Bobby Moore. I mean, he was probably 80% of the nation's favourite, and regardless of what club you supported or played for or managed or whatever, Bobby Moore was, I think he was the nation's favourite. I really do believe that he was the nation's favourite. But he was harshly treated. I mean, there was a position came up at a certain club that I won't mention because it might be a bit controversial, but there was a position that came up at a certain club, and he was overlooked for it. He applied for the job, and he was overlooked for it in favour of a man that had never been in the game. He was, well, I say he'd never been in the game. He'd never played at professional level. And Bobby Moore then went on to go and do other things, and but the position that was there, I believe it was Fulham. I believe it was Fulham. He was very harshly treated, and he ended up only managing lower league clubs. He never really hit the big time with any real thing. Yeah. And I felt that was really harsh, because with the experience that he had and the love that he had from the nation and everything else, at least he would have been brought in as an assistant manager to, I don't know, let's pull a name out of the hat. Assistant manager to Brian Robson as England manager, or something like that. That would have been the very minimum that one would have expected of Bobby.
Yeah.
Not of, but for Bobby Moore. And he never got given any of them kinds of opportunities, It was
but again, it all kind of comes full circle and makes sense, because he's West Ham. We get the same treatment almost everywhere we go.
Yeah,
that's kind of our reputation.
We're still last on the listing for match of the day.
So again, it like I told you before, just West Ham for me is a bunch of full circle moments, and fortune literally always hiding, and just it makes sense to me. That's just how it was meant to be, I guess, good or bad.
Can I ask you a question, a personal question, actually, Lucas? I mean, I know you can't speak for the rest of the West Ham faithful in the United States, but were you touched by the Isla Caton story?
Oh, very, very. It was. It would be hard to imagine that it didn't touch anyone, no matter where you are, really. But we would talk about it all the time, and it's still sad. I personally woke up at 4 a.m, and I watched the service, and it was very powerful, very touching. And
I'd like to know what the numbers were that tuned into that. Actually, I would imagine that would be.
But I would like to. I would like to imagine that there are some other American folk with me up at 4 a.m, tuning in and paying their respect, saying their prayers for the family and all that.
Yeah. And the reason I've asked you this question leads me into another little. You're obviously aware of the rivalry between West Ham and Millwall.
Yeah.
Did you see any of the coverage on the Millwall reaction to Isla's passing?
I've seen like them collaborating and like coming together for her, which I thought was honestly very beautiful
and very honourable.
Yeah,
considering the history that,
because as much as no one wants to think about it, like, we hate each other, but we are the same.
Yeah, and it affects everybody. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that you've been close to somebody that that's gone by the way of cancer. I certainly have. Certain members of my family have all gone that way. But what I feel was really special about the Isla Caton story was that not only was it taken in our hearts from the fans' perspective, but every member of the club, you
Mhm.
know, every individual in the club was touched by that.
And again,
Um,
that's why like West Ham is so special to me because don't get me wrong, every fan base has an Isla Caden story, kids like
yeah,
that, but like we're small enough that like everyone just comes together and is on the same mission. We're on the same wavelength when it comes to that like a Chelsea or Tottenham or United
mhm,
City, like they just have so many fans and they're such a big club that like you're not gonna see stories like Isla's where everyone
mhm,
gets behind it. That's
mhm.
all everyone's thinking about when they wake up, like, oh, how's Isla today? I hope she's pulling through, yada
Yeah,
yada yada.
yeah,
That's why I love West Ham.
yeah, yeah. I agree fully, and and also within the YouTube community, there are certain people that you know they bang the drum on a daily basis for Isla.
Hmm.
Um, particularly Force from Iron, Gatesy and Duke. They bang the drum every time. They had links to the Just Giving pages and stuff on every stream they ever
Yep.
did, well, and still do. And they weren't unique in that, but they were quite
Adamant.
prominent with it. Yeah, and it was every single time, and
Yeah.
and the way they always came across with it was always in a way that was caring, and
Genuine.
it was like even just sharing the link
Yeah.
helped, and that kind of thing, and rather than give,
Yeah.
it was, and I actually believe that it's because of that kind of attitude within the masses within
Yep.
West Ham that's why this story got so much coverage outside of the West Ham community. That's why we saw clubs like, you know, um, Kidderminster that they gave tribute to her
Yep.
on the day,
Beautiful.
on that day. Yeah, exactly.
Without
Um,
Isla, we don't win that match that day.
no, and West Ham women played Chelsea women recently, and at the seventh minute, they stopped and applauded for a minute, and that was for Isla, and and all of the and because it was a women's game, it wasn't a full stadium
Yeah.
clearly, which is really unfortunate because I think the game, as we mentioned earlier, the game has come on leaps and bounds, and I think more people should watch it and attend the games. I'm going to start going next season, definitely. Um, and there's no perverse reason in that either. but they stopped the game, and everybody that was in the audience, every member of the crowd, all applauded, and were respectful. Every person, and you know that's a story that you know warms the cockles of your heart, as we would say here. It really does. And the parents, even though you know now that pain has ended, the pain of their daughter's suffering, now they've got to deal with her loss,
Yeah.
and I find it distasteful when people are kind of you know um how can I put it, uncaring or cold towards it.
Yeah.
There are individuals, it's not groups, it's individuals that are like that. But the thing is, that must really affect the family. And, I, for one, just want to say that, those people aren't worth worrying about. And,
Yeah.
there are probably 250,000 West Ham fans that are willing to back you, you know,
Yeah.
not them. them individuals, they don't get our support. You do. Anyway, let's move on. We've actually been chatting for nearly an hour and a half, which surprises me, but time flies when you're having fun.
Yes.
So just actually, there's only one more question really that I actually wanted to put to you. Was that one player that you've watched as a West Ham fan, one player that you really wish hadn't worn claret and blue?
That hasn't worn claret and blue?
No, one that you would wish didn't. One that you would rather hadn't worn claret and blue.
You know, that one's kind of tough, just because normally we've always had that mentality where whoever comes to the club, we're gonna back them 1,000,000% no matter how shit they are or how good they are. And most of the time, as long as you're a willing participant that is willing to give 110%, even if you have no real quality about you, we'll love you. There's a few, but Roberto probably. I couldn't. He was just so bad.
No desire.
Like he that was like, yeah, just to name a few, I would probably say Roberto, Yarmolenko as of like the past 2 seasons, probably, including this one.
I think there are a lot of people that would agree with that one. Well, both of them, actually.
Carlos Sanchez, not for me. Who else? You know, even though I did like him because he was contributing, you know, Marko Arnautovic, like, don't get me wrong, I loved his bastardly attitude, but like we all know, like, there were
was going to go tits up.
Toxic moments were going to happen at any moment. But I would probably say Roberto, because it was a mix of, he was so bad, it was laughable, and I'm not going to say he didn't care about the club, but like, you know, I'd probably say Roberto because he did cost us lots of points.
Yeah. Okay. That's a really good answer.
I was going to say Dimitri Payet.
It's the first time I've ever actually asked anybody that question.
I was going to say Payet because he did bring me so many good moments, and when he left, it really hurt. And like, as a West Ham fan, I'd almost rather just not experience that hurt. So it hurt more. Yeah. It hurt more when he provided such great memories, and then the way he left obviously hurt. But Roberto, that'd be my answer.
Yeah. Okay. So that really covers mainly what I wanted to know about your love of West Ham. Is there anything you want to add to what you've said?
Not really. I mean, I would like to say I speak for most American West Ham fans when I talk about my love for the club and how much it means to me and how much it affects my everyday life, as much as it shouldn't, but it does. And I just really hope that we can continue to grow as a fan base and keep our loving, dedicated reputation like it is over there, and we can spread it positively across the world, and maybe one day we will be a big, respectable club with no bullshit going on, and we're gonna stop being a meme every other week. But yeah, I mean, I love the club. I'm gonna go to the grave a West Ham supporter, and whatever happens beyond the life I have, I will somehow try to continue to stay involved some way. I don't know. Because
that's brilliant, and you'll have a lifetime of respect from me and many others for what you just said as well.
And I'm getting the passport ready as we speak. I'm trying to get over to Seville or London, wherever it may lead me.
Excellent. Well, you'll always be welcome in London, buddy. Always. And there'll be a group of people ready to enjoy an evening with you whenever you're ready.
I
There'll be a
appreciate
group of
that.
us. No, mate, we appreciate what you guys do. Actually, and I have to say that because you know, a, a essentially British institution, which is what the Premiership is really.
Yeah.
You know, it for it to be as loved and revered and feared the world around, around the world, is quite um, exciting for us. It's actually quite humbling as well at times. But the fact that you do produce such good quality content, and there is definitely a passion with you and the other guys that you associate with. You know, I for one respect it, and I'm sure I speak for many others that we say thank you for what you do and keep doing what you do because we love it. I really appreciate you taking your time out to spend some time with me, getting to know me, getting to know you, kind of thing. Bit of an Alan Partridge thing there. Yeah, but I really appreciate you taking the time out, Lucas.
No, I
And
appreciate you
you know,
for asking me, and your words mean a lot. I try to, like, we all know there's people that are like just getting into something and they try to not sound like a knob or like a
mhm,
know-it-all or anything. Like, oh,
yeah,
you've been here for a cup of tea. Like, what the hell do you know? What are you doing? So I
yeah,
try my best to represent the club as anyone else would, love the club as much as anyone else would, and show the club respect when it's supposed to be
mhm,
respected, and I try to spread the good word.
yeah, and more power to you for it, mate. Because I'm not a true Cockney. I'm not a true Londoner. I was born in Sussex, so it's as I said, 50 miles away from the stadium. But I was born to a family that were from the area, from the East End. My parents are both born in the East End. Um, you know, I kind of I've lived West Ham all my life, and a lot of people that I know have lived it as well, and also many other clubs because of
Mhm.
where I live. But what I don't see with other people, and I've spoken recently to a few guys that I know that support other clubs. Do you ever watch the YouTube content and that? Now, didn't even know there was any, or I can't be bothered with it, or I ain't that really that into it anymore, or just things like that. And I think, wow, really? Do you know what I mean, I've got to be honest. I got introduced to fan-based YouTube stuff through a pal of mine, Dave,
Mhm.
who's a Tottenham fan, and I went to his for a cup of tea after, during lockdown, actually. The first day that we were told that we weren't allowed to go to work,
Yeah.
we went back to his for a cup of tea and a fag and whatever. And he put on YouTube and he started watching these two young guys. I think they're twin brothers or something. We Are Tottenham TV, I think they're called. And I was like, really? Do we have to watch this crap? What I mean? He was like, oh, shut up, mate. I love it. And I thought, oh, well. But it kind of made me think, well, maybe there's something for West Ham. And here I am.
I was almost the same way. I didn't really start watching, like, at least West Ham YouTube till about two 2018, maybe 2019,
Mm,
because
2 years before me, then.
I didn't know it really existed.
Mm,
So, and
yeah,
I'm happy I found it because it's led me to a bunch
yeah,
of good channels, a bunch of great people like you, American Hammers TV, DC Irons, all the supporters groups, all the WhatsApps groups that I'm in. It's
yeah,
led me to some
yeah.
great friends, great
And thank
conversations
you
for life.
also for yeah, thank you also for your contributions in the the massive irons group that I set up, and everything. I really appreciate your involvement in that. It's
I try.
brilliant.
I love again, like I said, I love talking to everyone. I
Mm.
love talking to you guys as well.
And obviously, as you've probably noticed, a lot of the stuff that goes on in there is just banter and jokes and general chit chat. But it kind of that's why I created it, because I thought, well, I've got Peach in Canada, I've got Kieran in Australia, I've got you guys, you and a couple of others that are in the States, Frankel, Adam Frankel, he's in the States as well, and so I've got people from London and all around the country. It's great. I love it because we can all talk, and we've all got something in common. And that resides at the London Stadium. It's West Ham United. We love them, we suffer for them, and we love them.
And
it's like a marriage.
We make friends for life.
We do indeed. And as a friend, I want to thank you so much for your time, Lucas. We are going to have to wrap it up, mate. But it's been a pleasure talking to you, and we'll do something again soon, real soon.
Absolutely. Anytime you need me, anytime you want me, I'm here.
Brilliant. And same goes, if ever you want a guest from the UK on any of your shows, just give me a shout. Send me a link and I'll come to you. I'll be honoured. All right? Brilliant. So, one more thing for us both to say. Come on, you irons.
On you irons.
Have a good time. Take care. Stay safe, everybody. Yes. And we'll see you real soon.
Artie, Zen. Yeah. Look, we're just gonna throw some bars in, have a bit of a laugh, have some fun. Hope you guys like it. Much love. You know it is. Come on, you irons.